Boop, boop, boop. Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. I'm just getting back to the crib. Big back day. Got that back day money. Swelled my back up. You know how I do when I hit the yard, man. From the prison yard straight to the weight yard. You know what I'm saying? Got me a set, 315 on the bench, man. 40 minutes of cardio in and out. Man, I ain't even stay under 2 hours. I was in and out the gym in under 2 hours, baby. Got it in and got the hell on, man. Getting right into the video. This is the message for the video. Just because you was born into poverty, you was born poor, you wasn't born with a silver spoon, you was born in unfavorable circumstances, don't mean that you can't be successful in life, baby. You know, the thing about it is, it's all in your mindset. You know, you just got to be determined. And you got to make it out. You got to find a way to make it out, you know. Take me, for instance. I'm going to use myself as a prime example, you know. Me growing up, I grew up in the projects. I grew up poor, Section 8, all that, low-income housing. It was a lot of crime, a lot of poverty. You know, a lot of my friends later on in life, they chose to make the wrong decisions, you know. They chose to do this and do that, selling dope out in the streets, robbing people, all that type of stuff, man. You know, a lot of them ended up in prison. You know, my last prison that I worked at when I lived in West Virginia, there was a dude there I grew up with. He was in there for robbing banks, man. He was 2 years younger than me. We grew up in the same projects. We played on the same Little League football team. We went to the same Boys and Girls Club. We used to hang out at the same rec center. You know, I lost track with him when I moved away from them projects. My mom moved us away, you know, when I was around 14, so I lost track with him. But fast forward, 15 years later, you know, I'm working at this prison as a correctional officer, and, you know, I'm on the unit, and I see a dude, and I'm like, damn. As soon as I seen him, I recognized him. You know, I pulled him to the side one day. He said he was in there for bank robbery, man. He gave 15 years. Shit was crazy, you know, because I was like, that could have easily been me, you know, and the situation got even worse for him. He eventually got out. You know, and then I think like a year or two later, he was killed. He got shot, lost to gun violence on the street. I don't know all the details around it, you know, but I can assume that he probably went back to that lifestyle, you know, robbing banks or doing whatever he was doing. You know, I got a call from my mom one day. She was like, you remember Henry that you grew up with, you know, when we used to stay out on the west side? I said, yeah, Mom, that's the one I told you that was at my prison, you know, when I was working at the other prison. She was like, yeah, he got shot and killed. And I had looked it up. I was like, man, that shit was crazy. You know, that just goes to show you that the choices that you make in life, the path that you take in life, for every choice you make, there's a consequence, you know, whether it's good or bad, you know. Me, on the other hand, I was always determined. I was always ultra light. I had that laser light focus to make it out of my situation. I wasn't going to let my situation determine where I go in life. I wasn't going to let my circumstances dictate where I end up in life, you know. That's all you got to do. You just got to be determined, and you got to be like, man, no matter what, I'm finna make it out of this shit, man. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to put me together a plan some way, somehow, you know. For me, my outlet was football, you know. I used football as my escape, you know. When I was in high school, I didn't care about shit but going to school, lifting weights, and playing football. You know, you can ask anybody that's been knowing me, you know, since I was goddamn in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you know. That's all I cared about. As far as the gym, I would walk, ride my bike, bum a ride from my mom or somebody, catch the bus, walk in the rain. I didn't give a fuck. Just to go make sure I lifted weights with my trainers, you know, my coaches, this and that. You know, I'd be riding my bike all around Columbus, Ohio, catching the Coda bus. I did not care, you know. When I was in high school, I started taking early college classes at the community college, you know, back in my hometown. I went to Afrocentric High School in Columbus, Ohio. They had a program where you could take community college classes at Columbus State Community College. It was a pilot program. We were the high school. That was the pilot program. So me, you know, I always made good grades in high school. You know, the program, they offered it to everybody in high school. I took full advantage of it. You know, towards my junior year and towards the end of my high school, my senior year, I was damn near pretty much full time at the community college. I was taking like 4 to 5 classes, you know, a quarter. And then I was still, I had my couple classes back at the high school. I was I would either catch the bus back to the high school, because it was it was a bus that ran by my high school. It'd probably get you there in about 10, 15 minutes. Or sometimes I would just walk. I would walk from the community college back to the high school. That was probably a few miles. I didn't give a fuck, man. I was a kid in high school. I'm like, shit, I'm on a mission. I'm walking with a purpose, man. All this shit that I'm doing today is going to serve a higher purpose later on in life, you know? And then what ended up happening, I ended up graduating high school, you know, with I think I finished with a 3.8 GPA. You know, I got a full ride football scholarship to West Virginia State University. You know, by the time I finished high school, I graduated that community college. I had like 70 to 80 credits of classwork that I completed and, you know, successfully passed at the community college. I was a full-time, I'm in high school going to college with college students, adults. There were grown adults in my class. I'm 16, 17, 18 years old, you know, and they're with, you know, parents, college students, you know, taking it serious, taking advantage of every opportunity that was afforded to me. You know, all that shit, it came back to me in a positive light, too. When I got to my college, I went to West Virginia State. I played football. Like I said, I got a full ride football scholarship. When I got there and I sat down with my my counselor or guidance counselor for my degree, they looked at all my transcripts that I from the classes I took in high school. They was like, wow, you got enough credits and all of them transferred. I was already technically, when I got to college, a sophomore already. You know, I was like a year and some change into my sophomore year of college and I'm just getting on campus, you know. All my credits didn't transfer. They allowed me to use it as an elective towards my degree, you know. So I kept the momentum going, you know. I kept going. I kept grinding. I was like, I ain't finna slow down. You know, I ain't care about none of that partying and shit. You know, I started coming out my shell a little more when I got to college. I would go out maybe once a month, you know, go to the club or go to the local parties. But I was always focused on school. Still focused on football. I'm on the football team. So, you know, when you playing football, especially as a college athlete, you got meetings, you got team meetings, weightlifting, practice. You know, it's like high school, but it's intensified. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up graduating college in like 3.5 years. You know, I was like, man, I'm on a mission. You know, I ended up graduating. I finished with a 3.2 GPA, got my degree in criminal justice. You know, I found a job in my field. I was like, you know, I talked to one of my professors. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do as far as like using my criminal justice degree. He was like, why don't you try working in the prison system? So I was like, all right, cool. I worked at the county jail. You know, I almost quit because I had a situation where an inmate had hung himself and left me to find him. You know, I almost was like, I don't know if this shit is for me, but I stuck with it. You know, then I got on with the federal prison system. You know, and I've been doing that ever since 2013. So I've been doing corrections for 12 years, you know, and it's been good to me. You know, the statistics said somebody like me growing up where I grew up at, I'm supposed to be dead by now or in prison, man. I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35, you know, in December. That's what the statistics say, man. But I'm like this. I beat all them statistics, man. The odds were stacked in my favor. I ain't care about none of that, man. I'm determined. I'm determined to make this shit work by any means. I know I'm going to be somebody in life. I knew it from day one. I knew how this shit was going to play out. You know, I didn't care what my circumstances were. I didn't care that I was born poor. You know, my friends, they used to have a better living situation. They had both parents in the household, shit like that. I done passed up people, man, whose parents had a lot of money. You know, you look at me versus them and whatnot, and it's like I done passed them up as far as achieving success in life. You know, they ain't doing shit. You know, they supposed to be the one. I'm supposed to be the one not doing shit at a dead end job, just getting by, making ends meet. You know, you look at some of my friends, man, they had a head start. You know, it's like they in all kind of shit, man. Got probably 3, 4 kids. Shit like that, man, ain't really doing too good. You know, I don't try to say that to try to look down on nobody. I'm just trying to relate their situation to mine as far as like life is all about the choices you make, you know? I knew kids, man, people, man, they had 2-parent households. Parents make good money, man. They want to be hood. They want to be from the streets, man. They trying to be a thug. I'm like, man, I grew up in that environment. I'm trying to make it out of that environment, man. You don't get money and try to go back to the hood. You try to make it out. You trying to make it. You trying to be something more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I knew I was going to be somebody, you know, and I'm not by no means rich, wealthy, none of that, man. That shit may come further down the line. You know, it may be inevitable, but I do well for myself. You know, it's working as a prison guard, you know. I've been doing that 12 years now. You know, I was able to buy a house. Both cars paid off right now. Don't have no debt really except the house. Shit, I got money invested in my retirement savings. I get to travel out the country a few times a year, you know, so I'm comfortable, you know, and I'm grateful for all that shit. You know, all the choices I made, all the decisions I decided to make, man, when I could have went left, I chose to do right. You know, all that shit came back. That's why I always tell people, man, life is all about the choices you make, man. At the end of the day, every decision that you make, it has a consequence, whether it's good or whether it's bad. 5, 10 years down the line, you're going to be thanking yourself for the decisions you made today, or you're going to be regretting the shit, you know. So that's why I go to say, man, it don't matter where you start, man, you know, especially in a country like this, man, you know, it don't matter. It's like the playing field is level to an extent, you know. Do people that got money or that come from wealthy families, do they have an advantage or a head start? Yes, they got access to shit that we may not necessarily have. You know, it's easier to make money when you come from money. But I'm not letting none of that shit stop me, man. You know, what they got going on is cool. All I could do is focus on what I can control in my life. You know, I can't worry about what they got going on. I can't be crying to God, wishing I was them, you know, asking God, why me? You know, why wasn't I born like that, man? You know, once you start to get older, it's like you start to accept your faults and you start to accept shit for what it is, and you just try to focus on what you can control at the end of the day. Some shit is just outside of your control. You can't control the family you was born into, man. You know, just know, though, you don't have to end up in that situation for the rest of your life, man. All you got to do is hustle. You got to grind. You got to be fucking figuring shit out here. You got to be on your hop and your skip, man, seeing what's going on, figuring shit out, studying the game, observing what's going on around you in the world, you know, shit like that. You got to focus on the bigger picture. I'm always focused on the bigger picture. I got my eyes and ears to the street, you know, at all times. I'm always researching. I'm always trying to get better, constantly trying to improve myself every day. I never get to the point where I think I know it all. I get too cocky or become an arrogant asshole, thinking I'm better than people. I'll never be like that, man, because I know where I come from. I come from dirt, poor, poverty. Shit, I ain't had shit like that, man. We ain't had shit hardly, but we made it work. It was all about family and making this shit work. My mom was strict. She made sure we wasn't running the streets. We couldn't run the streets, man. We had to be home. If I wanted to go out with my friends, she better know where I was at, and I better be home by a certain time. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even run the streets or do shit like that. You know, my mom always knew that I was in the books, and I ain't care about nothing but except for football, lifting weight. That's all she told me, man. You just focus on Ryan and worrying about the school books and that football. That's all you focus on. Don't worry about what nobody else is doing. Just do you. Do the best that you can in you, man. Focus on you and just try your best every day, man. That's all my mom told me, man. So this message, man, I hope it resonates with somebody, man, that may be going through some situations, man. They may be feeling despair, feeling hopeless, like, man, I don't know if I'm going to ever make it out of this shit, man. Just know where there's a will, there's a way. You just got to stay focused and you got to be determined, man. I know if I can do it, damn, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? I came from all that, man. Like I said, I could have easily went the wrong way, not doing shit with my life, man. But I always had this fucking drive and this fucking determination and this hustle to make sure that I'm going to be somebody in life. I'm going to be somebody that people can look up to, man, and be like, I remember you was a little boy, man, and you've been on the same shit ever since, man. I ain't switched up since day one. You can ask anybody, my right hand God, man, that's been knowing me since I was a little boy. They'll tell you I've been on the same shit, had this same focus, this same discipline. A lot of this shit, y'all, the people that follow me on here that see me do, I've been doing this shit since high school. Goddamn 20, back in 2006, damn 20 years ago, man, 15 years ago, I was getting up early, lifting weights every day, working out twice a day, shit like that, all that. Man, I've been doing this shit, man. I'm trying to make it. I'm hungry. That hunger has never left me. It's not going to leave me, man. I'm trying to get everything I can out of this life, man. And I'm trying to let my light shine as bright as it can shine. You feel me, baby? Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. In the gym we trust, man. I got all kind of catchy t-shirts, hoodies on my website, www.theghettobodybuilder.com, man. You know, a lot of it fitness, gym related, motivational quotes, man. All these designs I created myself. I created all the designs that you see on my website personally myself. So if you decide to buy a shirt or a hoodie from me, you support me personally, baby. So yeah, check that out, man. But yeah, don't ever let your circumstances define who you going to be in this life, man. You know, all you got to do is figure out what you're trying to do, figure out a play, and put the play into action, baby. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.